Facebook land. It is Dr. Lauren Klum here at the Specific Chiropractic Centers in Oakland, and I am attempting to do my episode of Specifically Speaking, which is the weekly show that I do here in my office Tuesdays at 2 p.m. And I have my first, let's see, bring them on camera, add the intention. So I have my
There it
first
is.
guest here. There he is. Hi, Casey. How are you?
Hey, Dr. Lauren. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for your patience as I'm figuring out technology.
Of course, not a problem.
So everybody, I would like to introduce you to Dr. Casey Sanders. He owns the Specific Chiropractic Centers in Fort Worth, Texas, and he is the first official guest that I have on Specifically Speaking.
Hey,
Yay!
It is an honor. Thank you.
Yay! So Casey, I want you first just to introduce you to my community here at Oakland. Here in Oakland, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and what you're doing there in Fort Worth?
Absolutely. First of all, if you have been to Dr. Lauren's office, if you're a patient, then you have a very good idea already of what I do in my office, because at all specific centers, you get that same standard of care no matter where you are. Now, a little bit about myself is I've only been in this game for a short little while. It's been just over about a year that I've been in practice. But I am out there trying to get spread that word to as many people as possible. So thank you for having me on, Lauren, to do this. If you can see, actually, I'm not at the office right now. I'm actually out front of my house. We ran into a little issue. The air conditioner is out at the clinic, so I have some people up there right now replacing some things. And so I'm getting as much work done as I possibly can from home.
So, Dr. Casey, let me introduce you to this thing called being a business owner, where you get to put out all sorts of fires that have absolutely nothing to do with being a chiropractor.
Absolutely. I've gotten pretty accustomed to that over the last year or so.
Yes. And that's what's interesting about going into business for yourself, being an entrepreneur, is at least for me, when I started my practice, my whole focus was on being the best chiropractor that I could be, which clearly is super important.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized that so much of my attention on a daily basis was actually drawn to all sorts of different areas of running the business, right?
All of a sudden you're having to wear all these hats, and you didn't realize all the things that are going to need to be taken care of, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, that's one of the reasons why being a part of the Specific is so awesome, because there are so many of those systems that we don't have to pay attention to because they're part of our greater system at the Specific. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, I would.
So tell me, what is your favorite part of being in practice? Since you've been in about a year, you've been serving your community in Fort Worth. What would you say is the thing that really keeps you lit about this work?
Oh, this is one of my favorite things to talk about right here. I'll try to make sure the camera didn't shake too much with my excited hands. So my absolute favorite thing about being in practice is probably going to be the look on the faces of families whenever they experience something life-changing that they would have never in a million years thought could happen to them. For example, one of the patients I'm working with right now was diagnosed with a brain tumor. Her pain levels are off the charts. She hasn't driven a car in over 3 years. And since getting under care with me, starting on this work that we've been doing, her pain levels are down. And most importantly, for the first time in 3 years, she has gotten behind the wheel of a car and been able to drive herself to take care of just even basic errands, like coming to a visit. So like the look on somebody's face whenever that happens to them, whenever they experience that change, there's no greater feeling in the world.
I agree with you. It's really changing people's lives, because clearly people don't want to suffer from pain. Nobody enjoys that. But the impact that this work can have on a healing process to absolutely change someone's life, what it looks like on a daily basis, that's where the beauty is, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're so lucky that we get to do this.
It is. I honestly, like, having been in chiropractic since, my dad's a chiropractor. I've been around this work my entire life. I've experienced this work my entire life, but I haven't quite experienced something like upper cervical, specifically what we do here at the Specific Chiropractic Centers.
Yeah, and it's very different when you get to be the one that provides that life-changing result, isn't it?
Oh man, it's something else. It really is.
Yes, powerful work, and that's what keeps us going. It's pretty amazing. So Casey, Dr. Casey, tell me, how's it going with the check-ins at your office for this month of May for getting people entered into our raffle?
People have been excited, you know, with the whole joke, the joke bit last month. People liked it. They thought it was pretty cool. Some of them were embarrassed to throw out jokes just because I guess they didn't think we were going to laugh. But, you know, come on, we're easily entertained people, right? So, no matter what was thrown at me, I was at least cracking a smile. So that was good. But with this month, it's been really awesome because not only are people excited to get their nervous systems checked, they're excited just to be there and share with the world what's going on, because not only are they checking in, not only does it benefit them because it gets them into the raffle, but they're starting to realize that they're helping to spread this vision that we have, this vision of health, this vision of greatness. And so it's been really cool to see them do that. And of course, for the fact that they're going to win some truly life-altering prizes is, you know, that's something else in itself.
It's pretty good incentive. It's pretty
good
incentive. But I think it just speaks to the communities that we've created with our offices. Clearly, we want to help people achieve their health goals, but so much of that is about being able to share that with the people that they care about. So that's why I like doing these kinds of things. Sometimes it might seem silly that we're doing so much on Facebook, but I think it's really a powerful way to share with others the amazing changes that we see.
Oh yeah, it's great, isn't it?
It is. We had to create this little how-to check-in.
Oh, I think I can see it. It looks good. Why don't you read that off to me? What does it say?
So a lot of my patients were saying, how do I do that? They weren't even sure how to check in. So we created this little graphic, and it says to log into Facebook or Instagram, create a status update, click check-in, and then type and choose the specific chiropractic centers, Oakland, for my office, obviously Fort Worth and yours.
Mm-hmm.
And then write something awesome, which is inevitable because our patients are awesome, and then click post. So it's really easy. I think it's easier than people thought it was going to be to check in. I think they thought it was some elaborate thing, but this has been helpful, taking the pressure off and helping people to learn how to do it.
Yeah, right. You know, welcome to the new age, I guess.
Yes, exactly.
I mean,
you might not have. I tend to be a little bit more of a dinosaur than Dr. Casey. He's clearly a little bit younger than me and a little bit tech savvier than I am. So perhaps his patients are more like you, and they can handle the check-in process.
I fall into that ever popular millennial category that people love discussing online.
You are one of my favorite millennials, and you are so helpful.
Aww.
So I appreciate you.
Well, thank you, Lauren. I appreciate you as well.
Thank you. I did want to touch on something else that I think is really important with the work that we do at the Specific, and I just wanted to share it with you and with our communities here on Specifically Speaking. Just this morning, I went with my daughter Kaya, who's almost 3, as you know. She had to have an assessment through what's called the Regional Center, and that's to help to see what kinds of services she qualifies for given her diagnosis of Angelman syndrome. And it was really interesting. These things are always kind of stressful for me because, like, I just want them to see how amazing she is, you know?
Of course.
So we go to this appointment, and it was very clear that the woman that was conducting the assessment didn't know anything about us, didn't know anything about Kaya, didn't really know anything about Angelman's. And it was really frustrating because I was like, didn't you read her file? Like, didn't you get some information before you started asking me questions? Like, it was just really frustrating, and it made me super appreciate the personal nature of the work that we do. We not only do we tailor solutions for people based on their specific goals, but we really get to know our patients, and we really care right from the beginning about what brought them in and what they're looking to get out of working with us, you know? And I just feel like we're so lucky to be able to impact people's lives the way that we do, that to approach it without really knowing what was going on with them, or just like having the same attitude toward every new patient experience, like that would just suck for the patients, because this kind of sucked for me this morning at this assessment. And it just, like, I am even more committed to doing it differently in our offices.
Of course. I'll speak on that actually for a second, just because one of the things that, you know, we love talking about in the Specific is not letting people classify themselves as what they've been diagnosed with, right? Really separating them out, having their whatever they've been diagnosed with be completely separate from the person. So anytime that they're coming into our offices, it doesn't matter to us. Now, don't hear me wrong there. It absolutely matters to us, but we are more concerned with the overall function of the nervous system, right? So we're not sitting back just reading a file, hearing a diagnosis, and only seeing that. That's what makes it such a personal experience, in my opinion, is because we get to create a relationship with these people. They become family, and that's something I tell every patient that comes in my office. Whenever you sign up for care with me, you're not just a patient of mine. You're now family. Like and I'm going to treat you as such every single day that you come in and get checked.
It's so true. It's so true. And it's really, I feel like it's really validating for people, because a lot of times, just kind of the way the world works, by the time people come into our office, they've been lots of other places and they've heard all sorts of different types of information, maybe given different types of answers or not given any answers. And so a lot of times it's really, really validating for them to come into our offices and to hear, I know what's going on, and this is going to be different. And I can help you regardless of what is the name of your condition.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The emphasis on function is just, it's so validating for people. They say, thank you for recognizing me and what's going on with me, and not just this title of a condition that I have.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm sure you can relate to that too. Just obviously your kiddos don't have the same kinds of challenges, but as a parent, like, that's the kind of care that you want for your kiddos, is care that is going to see them, who they are and how they thrive and progress, and not just call it something.
Yeah, exactly. It allows us to really, really just get past all of that. And not only does it help us as practitioners to see that, but it helps the parents of the kids too, because those parents are now looking at you and they're not just seeing a doctor in front of them. They're seeing a family member. They're seeing somebody that's on their team. They're seeing somebody that cares just as much as they do about what's going to happen to their kids.
Yeah, it's so true. It's really exciting to be a part of, huh?
Oh, absolutely. I love it. Again, wouldn't trade it for the world.
I'm telling you, man, we got the best jobs ever. So in closing, I've devised a couple more ways for people to get entries into the raffle this month. So obviously by checking in when they come into the office, and I'm also giving away entries if people just tag me or tag the office in a post.
Ooh.
That way they continue to get their raffle entries even if they're not in the office on a given day. And then I devised the questions of the week. So we've had 2 weeks, or today starts week 2, of questions of the week. So I just want to get your answers to these questions as an enticement for people to participate in my question of the week. Okay?
Let's do it.
So they're easy. They're easy. You totally know the answers.
Oh, I don't know. I might just blank on this. So don't hold it to me.
No problem.
Fire away, Doc.
We're good. So the first one is, as Mother's Day approaches, obviously this Sunday, how do you show your mama love?
First of all, thanks for the reminder.
I got you.
So, you know what? In order to show my mom love, some of the things that I've found that always work best is show her how much you appreciate her above all else, right? Whether that be just a phone call, a text message that says I love you, something nice, sharing of a picture online. Doesn't matter what it is. I know my mom better than most people. All she cares about is that I know she's there and that I can show her a little love every now and then. So that's one of the ways that I love to show them.
Acknowledgement goes a long way, huh?
Yeah, it's those words of affirmation, right?
Yep. Yeah. No, that's mine. Second question of the week. So this doesn't super apply to you guys, but you can answer it for Fort Worth. What is your favorite day date in your area? So for here, it's the East Bay, but what's your favorite day date in Fort Worth?
Okay, so I'm actually going to answer this as a two-parter, because one of my favorite things to do is what me and my wife Carrie do on Sundays for our day date, and that's where we like to get up in the morning. We like to go to yoga, and then we like to go to brunch afterwards. That is probably one of my ideal day dates. Love doing it.
That's pretty sweet.
It gets us around the community. It gets us talking to a few people, and we get to go sit out on the patio, enjoy that. Now, other day date, and this is on any other day. You know me. You know I'm a musician. You know I've been doing it for a very long time. If there's a day where there's a good festival going on or a good concert going on and there's some pickers playing, I'm there. And that is, to me, it almost doesn't get any better than that.
Nice. Yes, I had a feeling that yours would revolve around me.
Of course it is.
So I'll ask you one final question, which is going to be the question of the week for next week. So this is just a little preview. But what was the first concert that you went to? Do you remember?
Oh, I remember exactly what it was. I was in 8th grade. This is first voluntary concert. I don't want to go into involuntary parents taking you out kind of stuff. This is first voluntary concert. Totally. I was a punk rocker, still am, but got into it whenever I was in middle school. The very first concert that I voluntarily went to was Bad Religion and Less Than Jake here in Fort Worth at the Bronco Bowl before they demolished it. And I had pit tickets to it, so I was a teenage kid at a punk rock show in the middle of a pit. It was insane, it was crazy, and it was some of the most fun I've ever had.
That sounds super cool. So people like in Fort Worth would know the Bronco Bowl. They'd know what that is.
if they're over the age of probably, I don't know, 25 or so, then they would know what the Bronco Bowl is.
That's awesome. You're old school, man.
I have a good time.
Oh, well, that's awesome, Casey. I love hearing these personal tidbits, too, even just from our colleagues here at the Specific. It's really fun. That's what being part of a community and part of a family is all about, right? Is like we get the job done professionally, but then we also get to really experience friendship and camaraderie among ourselves as well.
Oh,
it's just the nature of our work.
Yeah, the fact that we can all get together, and even though we don't see each other for months on end, we're all every single day getting closer together. And then the times that we do get to come together for our team trainings, it's family.
It is family. I love it. So I super appreciate you being my first official guest on Specifically Speaking. As you know, or as everybody knows, Specifically Speaking is the weekly show that lots of us here in the Specific do. So you can check out the individual pages of the different docs to see when they do theirs. Mine's on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Casey, when's yours?
Mine is every single Friday at 1 p.m. Central Time.
Awesome. So, and he's been sweet enough to have me on as a guest for his. And now I'm really excited to have had you on a guest for mine, my first official guest.
Well, I'm super appreciative, Lauren. Thanks for inviting me on today. And I hope everybody got something out of it.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll see you later, Casey.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.